Alrighty, welcome, one and all. It is a Thursday night. We're kind of watching some Thursday football as we're going to go over our picks for Week 3 for the NFL. Again, we are trying to get better than ChatGPT. So far, we are not succeeding, but it's a long season.
Yeah. Well, and this last week was really bad.
Yeah, for everybody,
for everybody.
both of us as well as ChatGPT. Yeah.
But
so
before we get into there, before we get into these picks, there was a historic moment today in baseball.
My man.
And it deserves a few minutes of our time.
Yes.
To talk about this. He went in at 48 homers and 49 steals. Is that how he started the game?
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And of course, unless you've been living under a rock, I hope you know we're talking about Shohei Ohtani. But just in case, we are talking about Shohei Ohtani and his historical 50-50 moment.
And just to put it in perspective, it wasn't just the fact that he got 50-50. I mean, that's a feat no other player in the history of Major League Baseball has ever done.
Ever.
But it's the way he got the 50-50.
That's right. So before we, my brother and I were talking about it. We just think the 50-50 club should be called the Ohtani.
The Ohtani.
Because,
he's alone.
He's alone. He is one of.
Yes.
Right? So I was at a powder puff practice, homecoming for my school is next week, and I'm a senior sponsor. So I was there, and I got a message from my brother because Ohtani stole his 50th base during this game. It was early.
Yep.
Right? So he stole that base, and I got that moment. I'm like, that's awesome. So he's only 2 home runs away. So that was about 5:30-ish. I think I got his message somewhere in there, 5:30, 5:45. It was in that time frame. And I got home about 8:15. I'm looking at my phone, start scrolling. I see the Dodgers score of 20-4. Now, at first I thought maybe it was I thought we were looking at football. I had to double check to make sure I was looking at baseball because it's not very often you see 20 runs scored in a baseball game.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
And then as I start scrolling down and I'm looking at it, I'm like, crap, he got his 50-50. So that means he hit at least 2 home runs in this game. Well, it was just at least 2 home runs because he didn't hit 1, he didn't hit 2, he hit 3 home runs. Right? On top of the 3 home runs, he had 2 doubles.
Yes.
Right?
6 hits
that
total.
Now is 5 extra base hits, right? And a single. And because I didn't watch the game and I was just reading the article, apparently he was super he got thrown out at third, so he was the triple from hitting the cycle.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. So that hitting alone, just what we saw, right, was fantastic. Right? But he also had 10 RBIs.
And 2 stolen bases.
He had
a total of 17 total bases in this game.
17 total bases.
From my understanding, it's third most ever in the history of baseball.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm a sports fan. I like watching baseball. This gets me excited. And if you can't hear it in my voice, I was reading that and I couldn't scroll fast enough through the article to see what else he had done.
Well, here's something else to consider too.
Did he do the whole Bugs Bunny thing and pitch the ball and then go play catcher and then threw the guy out at second? Did he do play by himself? Because that's, to me, he's Superman.
Well, 8 of his 10 RBIs came with 2 outs. So it was, kind of clutch as well.
Yeah. And it's not that they needed. Basically, his 10 RBIs destroyed the other team.
Yes.
Whether anybody else, whether they scored any more runs or not, it was that would have been 10-4, and that's still a huge day in baseball.
But it was unreal, though.
It was unreal.
That was one of the greatest performances on the offensive side of the ball that we've seen. Right, hitting wise. going 6 for 6, 2 doubles, 3 home runs, 2 stolen bases, 10 RBIs. That was unreal.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he got it. I was rooting for him. I know there are some haters out there, and everybody was, and I get that. Whatever. I don't really care, but I was rooting for him, and I was getting a little concerned that maybe the pressure or something might be getting to him or something like that. Maybe he's just, but I gotta change subjects here because we do that a lot. What did I send you earlier today about Ohtani? Had nothing really to do with the actual on the field stuff.
Correct. So he sends me a video. It's of Rob Lowe giving an interview. Rob Lowe was actually talking about the time he met Shohei Ohtani. Okay. So he was there with some Dodger higher ups, and they took him down in the locker room. And Ohtani was just in a t-shirt, I think he said, and warm up shorts. He was big,
Yes,
he was not ready, right?
he was not dressed, right?
So Rob Lowe sat down and asked him. He says, "Hey, would it be okay if we got a picture?" Right? And Ohtani was like, "Sure." Right? He says, "But Kate, can you give me a couple of minutes?" Right? And the reason that he asked for a couple of minutes is because of he went and got in full uniform. And the way Rob Lowe described it, like he said, stirrups, the socks, the stirrups, the shoes, the pants, the cup. Like
The
he even
belt.
went in and said the cup, right? The belt.
Yeah.
Ohtani was game
The hat,
ready,
yeah.
right? And Rob Lowe was continuing to talk about the respect that Ohtani has for the game, right? For that specific moment.
Good night, my girl.
Good night, my niece. But so Rob Lowe's talking about that moment, right? So they got their picture and everything's good, and they're up in their seats, and the Dodger ownership, whoever was the guy was with Rob Lowe, gets a text from Ohtani and was asking, "Could you ask Rob Lowe if it'd be okay if I post this picture of us on social media?" Right? Respecting somebody else's privacy on top, the level that Ohtani is, right? As a human, just that it blew me away. And Rob Lowe, he's like, there's nobody nobody he could think of that would do that.
Yeah, what other superstar would have texted?
What other
asked
superstar
permission?
would have said, "Hey, I'd met this big actor, Rob Lowe, and I hear here's the pic." Who wouldn't wait to find out, hey, and post this new thing? That's just not Ohtani. It's not. He's quiet. He comes in. He works. He studies, and he plays hard.
Yeah.
And just his level of respect for baseball, like I said, with that whole he had to be in full uniform if he was going to be in the picture. And I can imagine it didn't even have to be Rob Lowe. I would think that it could have been you or I, right? Getting a tour, and if that was the case, he would have gotten uniform. So,
look, it's
there's
only
only
respect he has for people and respect for the game.
Correct.
You see a lot of a video of Ohtani as far as what he does, when he gets home, he's done playing. The amount of effort that he still goes into it when he's not even at the ball field, what he's doing at his home.
Correct.
And it's incredible. People that I really truly believe eats, breathes, and dreams baseball.
Absolutely.
Bottom line is congratulations to Ohtani. I love
it. Absolutely. It's phenomenal. And I know that it doesn't mean a whole lot, but for us, I would love to give him our clap. I know you got the button.
Yes.
You give him the button because at 51, I don't know if I would ever see anybody join the 50-50 club.
Well, it never happened. Who would have thought?
That's never happened in my lifetime. It's just now happened in my lifetime.
It's never happened, period.
So,
anyone's lifetime.
Exactly. But to be where I'm at, it's just a phenomenal player. So,
and a phenomenal person.
Person. That's what when I said, hey, he's just he's a good human being.
Yeah. Look, quick transition before we get into our picks for week 3, because we're talking about good people, and Dan Campbell is a good person. But I read today also about him having to move because people found out where he lived,
Yeah.
and just giving him crap over some losses and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, that's leave them alone. Like, why you gotta be doing stuff like that?
He's a human being, right? Yeah, I get he's high profile, but people need to rein it in. That's just
Ultimately, it's
to
a
me
game.
that's just disappointing.
It's a game. Like, it's not life or death.
It's not.
It's nothing serious. It's a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to win, right? We're
Yeah.
competitive. We love to see it, but it's still just a game. I don't know how else to reiterate that,
How many times did Dad ever say that?
all the time,
All the time, right? He says they get to go out and they get to play a game. And
Well,
like he always emphasized the fact that it's a game.
of course, yeah. And don't get me wrong, like, because like for everybody out there, I know you don't know our dad, but the guy was competitive, and I'll tell you what, like, if you made some boneheaded mistake in a game, he's gonna let you know about it, right?
Yeah.
Like, but ultimately, he knows, and we know it's just a game.
Yeah.
Like, that it shouldn't ruin everything else that
Yeah.
you have going in your life. It's a game.
It's a game.
Jeez, people.
So JD talked about his competitiveness. Dad used to back me down playing basketball and then step on my foot as he pivoted around and do it for his fadeaway jumper that he did. So, on purpose.
Oh yeah.
And and dad, grandpa, neither one of them went out there and were like, oh, we're going to let the kids win. No, that is not how we got grown. We didn't grow up that way.
They wanted to
all.
win because they wanted the bragging rights.
They did. And then not on top of that, but that made us better.
I did,
because
absolutely.
we wanted to get better so we could have that moment to beat them.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. It made us want it more.
Yeah. Like, Jen tells this, my wife tells this story all the time about grandma. We were playing flag football in the backyard.
Yeah.
Or two-hand touch, I should say. It was two-hand touch. Grandma doesn't know two-hand touch. Grandma knows take you to the ground. And she tackled my wife in a two-hand touch football game. Okay? So, we're a little competitive.
But it's still a game.
It's still, in the end, we love to play the game. Like, if we're going to be there, the object of the game is not just to go out there to lose.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's a game. It's a game of whatever. Baseball, it was a game of football, a game of basketball, right? That's what it was. And I think while Ohtani is on that level, like where he starts thinking about all of those types of things, right? I think he still sees it's a game. Like, he gets to go out there every day and play a game, and gets paid for it. So
yeah, obviously the guy takes it seriously because of how he is, but nonetheless, yeah. But again, congratulations to Ohtani. Glad that happened. Sorry to Dan Campbell and everybody that's bothering the guy. Just leave him alone.
Just back off.
And
he just wants to live a normal life. He's just got a job like everybody else.
It's normal.
He just happens to be the coach of the Lions.
With some awesome Applebee's commercials.
No. Okay, now you can tell me.
Yeah.
We'd like the boneless wings.
But look, we'll go into our picks. We'll review last week's, just to review them again in case you haven't seen them, and then after we review last week's, we'll go into our picks for this week. I think that'll probably be the thing we'll do, right?
How about we just say, I don't even really want to review. It was bad.
Like, well, I think we have.
There were some games that should have.
I think we have to review. I think we have.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's do it.
Like, again, we all did bad, right? Like,
I think
nobody
I only won 5 games.
Nobody is well. Dude, we tied. We both won. Like that few. Here it is, right? So right here is a total. Me and Steve only won 5. ChatGPT only predicted 6. So from this, it looks like there's a lot of upsets, right? Bills, Dolphins. What happened with Tua there? Maybe Hopefully he retires for his own health, right?
Yep.
I don't think anyone expected the Vikings to pull that one out against the Niners, but they actually did.
Yep.
And then after that, we got
Yeah.
the
Seahawks went into overtime to beat the Patriots.
yeah, that was kind of crazy, honestly, because the I did not expect. Of course, I picked the Patriots, right? So
Yeah.
but look, we got one right. The Commanders, yay.
Yep.
Um,
That actually put me in the lead at 2 wins, so I
it
was feeling
did
pretty good
for
about
a little
myself.
while.
Yeah.
But it didn't last.
No.
So and then again, we got the Chargers. I already picked the Chargers. Already got that one right.
Yeah.
Saints absolutely just destroyed the Cowboys.
I
That
don't
was
think there
insane.
was anybody on this planet that would have guessed the dismantling that the Saints did. Derek Carr is 15 for 15 on scoring drives.
Yes. Yep. Punter has not punted.
No, zero. Well, they did punt, but I don't think it was at the end of the game, and Carr was not playing. So on
Yeah.
drives that Derek Carr has led, they were 15 and 15, like 15 for 15. They're the
insane.
highest scoring offense in the league.
Yeah.
40 over 40 points a game.
And then
So.
Colts and Packers. Yeah, I expected more from the Colts, but and I didn't expect so much from
Malik.
Willis there. But guess
Yeah.
what? He
And he didn't give a whole lot, but they didn't ask
he
him
didn't
to
make
do
any
a whole lot.
mistakes.
He didn't make any mistakes. That's the thing.
That's all they wanted from him. And then we got the Browns and Jaguars. I really expect the Jaguars to really because Browns are Deshaun Watson's terrible,
Deshaun
right?
Watson is horrible.
And yet somehow they were still able to win, which baffles me. Jets. Steve's the only person with the Titans on that one. The Lions, that was a big upset. Lions had every opportunity to win.
Yeah,
but that was the worst game I've seen Goff play since Lions kind of started their winning streaks. At the second part of the 1 year, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And then Ravens. I really like the Ravens, but the Raiders pulled that one out at the Ravens, right?
At the Ravens.
Cardinals beat the Rams. Look,
not just beat them. Not just beat them.
Destroyed
them. They put
a
smackdown on them.
And look, I thought the Cardinals would be sneaky good this year. I thought there would be some, they'll be better than what people were expecting, but I did not expect them to beat the Rams that badly.
Now, I'm going to say here, now, I do want to say this for the Rams.
Yeah.
Puka Nacua is out.
Right.
Cooper Kupp got hurt and left, right? So Matthew Stafford didn't have a whole lot of people to throw to.
That's right.
Right? So,
yes.
But they weren't generating offense when Cooper Kupp was in the game either. So it was a thorough. It was it was bad.
Chiefs beat the Bengals. Steelers beat the Broncos there. The Texans won, and the Falcons upset the Eagles there at home for the Eagles, which was again big upset.
I think that were upsets. The Eagles Falcons, the Cardinals Rams, Buccaneers Lions,
Raiders Ravens,
Saints Cowboys. I mean, and the Vikings 49ers.
And the Vikings Niners, yes.
Right? That's 6 games that I don't know that a lot of people picked.
Correct.
So
yes.
Getting 5 wins, I feel pretty good. Now, I think I'm still 10 wins out of first place.
Well, in the summary here, you're 12 and 32.
12 and 32.
16 and 32 for me, and then 18 and 32 for ChatGPT.
Oh, so it's not as bad as I thought. I thought I was way further out of. But I'm still 6 games.
I mean, week 2 was still terrible for everybody.
Yeah.
Right? So now that'll get us into week 3.
Yeah. So we go.
Here's our picks for week 3. I was surprised ChatGPT picked the Patriots in this game, but they did. But Steve and I took the Jets. Giants and the Browns. I picked the Browns only because I kind of expect the Browns to kind of change a little bit of their game plan with Deshaun Watson playing so poorly. And again, I just don't trust the Giants at all. Daniel Jones is terrible, but I know Deshaun Watson is terrible. So, like,
Right.
who do you
Those are
pick?
lesser two evils there. And again, I'm trying
Browns
to
have a
make up
great
ground.
defense, though. Browns
Yeah.
have a great defense,
They do.
and they're playing at home.
Yeah.
That's why I took the Browns.
Myles Garrett is a beast.
Yes.
And
Yep.
that was a big reason I think that they won, because they won last week, right? The Browns, when they pulled that out. That was all defense.
And then Bears and the Colts.
Yeah, I don't trust. I got no love left for
But again,
Anthony
there's
Richardson.
two poor quarterbacks coming into this game.
I know. One's a super rookie, but I think they just got more talent. I think they're more talented on defense, and I think they have more talented players on offense.
I'm not gonna argue that one with you because I think, Bears are a talented team. There's no doubt about it. But I think if the Colts is able to get some pressure on the quarterback, then Colts can win.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm going with the Colts. And again, Colts is at home. Sometimes, when in question, I'm going with the home team. That's about it.
And that's kind of even if you're a gambler, that's pretty much, if you're playing at home, you get 3 points, like in the spread.
And then Texans at the Vikings. Look, I C.J. Stroud is amazing.
Yep.
He's a great quarterback.
Yeah, and offensively, man, that thing is clicking. Nico Collins is just having a phenomenal year already.
So underrated.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about Nico Collins as far as being one of the best wide receivers in the league.
No,
but he just produces.
He's a big guy, 225. I mean, got good. He can stretch the field a little bit for you. Just phenomenal. And I took the Vikings because they're at home, because that's, to me, kind of a toss-up game.
Yeah, kind of the same, right? We'll see what the Vikings are capable of doing.
Yep.
But I think that game is one that can come down to the wire.
Yeah.
Eagles and the Saints, it's hard for me to keep sleeping on the Saints and not pick them when they've just been so dominant in the first 2 games.
42 points a game. That's all I'm going to say. 42 points a game.
So, that's tough. Chargers and Steelers.
Yeah, they're struggling at trying to find their offensive rhythm. The Steelers are. So I think the Chargers are playing that good hardball football. We're going to run the ball. We're going to control the clock, and then we're going to throw when we have to. And it's working out for them.
Broncos at the Bucks. Again, Buccaneers are not a bad team, I don't think, and they're at home.
Yeah.
And, then you got the Broncos.
And it is. And they've got a rookie quarterback playing there too, Bo Nix. I think he's better than what their record is.
Absolutely. Bo Nix is not a terrible quarterback.
No. They're still trying to figure things out. And he's just trying to read the defenses, and they're throwing stuff at him, and it's not easy to be a quarterback, let alone a rookie quarterback.
Did you see the press conference that he gave about the one? And that's when I asked him a question about the interception he threw in the end zone.
I missed it.
Dude, it was hilarious. A reporter asked Bo Nix, he's like, "Hey, could you walk us through the interception there in the end zone?" And Bo Nix was like, "Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I dropped back and I threw it to the wrong team."
That's awesome.
It was great. It was great.
Bo Nix is not a young man. He's 24, 25. So he's got a couple of years older than, what you would see from a rookie. But so he's got a little bit of maturity, I guess is what I'm saying. But I think we're going to see some good things from the Broncos and Bo Nix when they start clicking.
Yeah, it's not there yet, but yeah, I think you're right. It will later on in the year.
Yeah.
Packers at the Titans. Levis has made some of the biggest boneheaded mistakes I have ever seen a quarterback make. 2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row.
Did you see his coach and that second mistake on the sideline?
Did you see the coach's interview?
Yes, I did.
The press conference. I was like, good on you, coach.
Yeah.
Because why protect this kid? He made some bad throws. He made bad decisions. He's got to learn from it. Let's move on.
Look, he knows it too, right? I mean, obviously he knows. Panthers at the Raiders. Panthers just, sat their quarterback. They're not a good team. So
their offensive line cannot protect Bryce Young.
And Raiders now, after the win last week, maybe, and they're at home now this week.
Yeah,
It's tough to pick against the Raiders when the Panthers are not playing good football.
they're not playing good football.
Dolphins, Seahawks. I mean, I think we understand why Tua's gone.
Yep.
Lions at the Cardinals. I don't think the Lions are going to be making some of those mistakes, specifically with the Jared Goff situation.
No.
Look, I'll say one more thing about that, and I know you got something to say too, there, brother. But the thing I want to say and get off my chest real quick is last year, if you go back and you look at what we kept saying, and I believe it was you that brought it up the very first time it got brought up on our show. You brought it up, and you were saying that the sweet spot for Jared Goff to throw the ball is like 30 some odd attempts a game.
Yep.
Like, you don't want him to throw a ton because of the the offensive line, the running game that we got, so on and so forth.
Yep.
And he threw over 50 times
50
last
times.
week. And anyway, so that can't happen or should not happen again.
No. And it wasn't needed.
No, it
right?
wasn't needed. They were behind, but they needed those quick scores.
Like, the game was close. They could have kept running the ball. They just needed to run. They needed to run the damn ball.
They needed to run the ball. Ravens, Cowboys. Cowboys have looked bad.
Yeah, Ravens are a big surprise at being at 0-2. Right?
They're due. Yeah.
So I think they're due. Lamar is just they're too good, I think, on both sides of the ball. And the Cowboys, I don't know what you're gonna get.
I think, even though I picked the Ravens in this one, all right, I think this is a game that if they lose this game, I think you're gonna start seeing the Ravens start spiraling, player wise.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll be able to recover if they lose this game against the Cowboys. So I'm sure Harbaugh is trying to get his coaches all on the same page. Great game plan coming into the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Probably watch to see what the Saints did.
Oh yeah.
As they have to get this game. You have to have this game if you're the Ravens.
Yeah.
So
if they want to make the playoffs, go starting 0-3 is like the percentage of teams that make the playoffs starting 0-3 is very small.
Very small. Niners at the Rams. I went with the upset here. I don't know. I don't know. Right now, Rams have a very, very, very young team, especially on defense.
Yep.
And I am just waiting for them to start gelling a little bit more. And I think the Rams could be a contender for a in the playoffs. So, and the other thing is, Christian McCaffrey's on the IR. Deebo Samuel is ruled out for the next couple of weeks.
Both teams have lost some offensive power.
Yeah, and then right now, both Charvarius Ward and George Kittle missed Thursday's practice.
Yeah.
So Kittle might not even play.
Yeah, Kittle was taken off on a cart, I heard, during that game.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
I think he came back, because they said it was just cramps.
Okay.
So he did come back, but that cramps could just be a keyword for something else, I guess.
But if Ward and Kittle again, so I'm just thinking that's a lot of the offensive firepower.
Yeah.
McCaffrey, Samuel, potentially Kittle.
Yep.
And like I said, the Rams defense, I expect to be tough this year because I think they'll come together with that young core. I don't know if it can be this week or week 3, but anyways, all I know is they look good against Detroit. Detroit has one of the best offensive lines in football.
Yep.
And Detroit's offensive line did not push them around I expected them to.
Yeah, and Rams are playing at home, so if you're going to pick an upset, I mean, that's not a bad one.
Yes, I agree. Falcons, Chiefs, here's your upset, I think.
This is my upset. Yep.
Yeah.
I took the Falcons. The Falcons are at home. The Chiefs, defensively and even offensively, seemed like they struggled a little bit last week against the Bengals. If it wasn't for the pass interference, and I don't care what anybody says, it was pass interference, he got there early. right? There was a lot of talk. Oh, well, there's the Chiefs, and everyone just wants the Chiefs to go undefeated. I look, it was pass interference, and if they didn't want that pass interference to happen, they should have sacked him and not let him run around. But I'm taking the Falcons.
And then the Jaguars versus the Bills. Look, as much as I'd like to see the Jaguars take a step forward, because I don't hate that team. It's one of those teams that you kind of want to root for just because they're always the underdog, but yet they're always losing, and you see why they're always the underdog.
And they're such a small market team. But I think Doug Peterson's a really good coach. I think he does a good job developing quarterbacks, and he's got a good one down there.
We all think that he's fun.
Well, that's true.
Right? I mean, I don't know. Like, did you see last game?
I saw parts of that game. I know it started raining, and it didn't seem like he was throwing very good.
No, he did not throw good at all. He was 14 for 30 for 220, right? Less than 50%. That's not normal for him to be that. And plus, Travis Etienne is going to be the lead back too going forward because of injuries. I don't know. We'll see. But it's going to be it's just hard to pick against the Bills. The Bills have the advantage in this one, I think, also being at home.
Yeah. Like the young receivers, like all those new receivers that Josh Allen has forward to now, like they're already starting to click.
And then Commanders of the Bengals. My brother picking against his favorite team.
He is. Look, Jaden Daniels got their first win. That's great, right? It's exciting. I just think the Bengals have more. I'm taking the Bengals at home.
They haven't showed it, is what we can say, though, right?
That's true. Especially when they were at home. Like, they played better in Kansas City than they did the week before.
Against the Patriots.
Against the Patriots. So
right.
I'm hoping that loss, that last-second loss to the Chiefs is going to be one of those, kicking the pants. And you're going to start seeing some stuff happen. So,
I mean, the Bengals have to have a better running game to, how about Joe Burrow? You can't average, 2.8 yards a carry with Zach Moss and expect to, really get anybody, fearful of the run. And Jamar Chase only having 4 catches for 35 yards. Again,
right.
They got to do more down there. And it starts with that running game. They have to get a better running game going. So, but they're at home, and I do expect them to pull this one out. I think this will be another close game, personally.
All right.
So,
well, those are the picks. So, we're about to find out, I'm hoping to gain a game. It's a long season. If I can catch a game every week on these guys, I'm gonna be okay. But I gotta pick one more game better than they do for the next few weeks to make me feel better about myself.
Well, we'll see.
It's just been such a wacky season to start.
Yes, it has.
Upsets all over the place.
Week 2 was crazy with the upsets.
Yes, it was.
But ultimately, look, we definitely appreciate everybody out there listening. This was our picks. Let us know what you think. Who do you think will have a better week 3? Let us know.
All right, guys. Take care. And we're going to talk to you guys. But the Lions got a 4:00 game this week, so we may have to try and do a show during the game.
Probably during the game. But look out for that show. And we appreciate everybody listening. And we'll talk to you Sunday then.
All right, sound good there. See you then.
Thanks for listening to No Pads Sports Talk. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, help spread the word by leaving a rating and review wherever you listen to podcasts. Follow us on social media at No Pads Sports Talk.
Hey. Stopping hasn't stopped yet. Trying to stop.